So I'm here with Perou, my doppelganger, clash of the bald heads.
Separated at birth.
Exactly, and great ears to boot. And I thought we could do you telling me about a story that you told me about ages ago, and it kind of completely blew my mind because you have these preconceived ideas about the A-listers, and you don't get any more A-list, any more kind of cool than this guy. And it really restored my faith in humanity. Viggo Mortensen.
Yes, he is a dude. He is one of the two dudes that I've photographed in two Hollywood dudes, Jeff Bridges being the other.
Yeah, I mean
Who
he's done massive films, but he's also done like these David Cronenberg films like Eastern Promises, A History of Violence, I think, that are extraordinary pieces of work, you know. And he obviously is really good at collaborating because the pictures you took of him are extraordinary.
the film that I photographed him for wasn't his greatest work.
Mm,
Hildago, a Disney straight to DVD classic,
mm.
but it was out in Morocco, and I'd drawn all my ideas that we were going to do. It was for a Flaunt magazine, and it was kind of fashion based, so I had fashion clothes for him to be wearing. And it was going to be a cover story and lots of pictures inside because obviously he's a legend and they were happy to have him. We get out there and he's very humble, and he doesn't have a PR team around him,
Which is unthinkable, isn't
which is
it?
unthinkable. And
No manager,
no manager,
no
no.
one except for Omar Sharif.
Well, this is it. So he asked us to go for dinner the night before the shoot, which is unusual for a Hollywood actor. And at dinner was Omar Sharif with his entourage. Omar Sharif has an entourage. Vigo didn't have any entourage. My mum's favourite, Omar Sharif. And we arranged that we would go out in the dark, in the middle of the night, and race across the dunes to try and meet sunrise the next morning. So
Mm.
he had a driver, just one driver. It was him, Vigo, me, and my assistant heading out in the dark, speeding at like ridiculous speeds for driving through a desert. And we had a crash. He crashed into a dune, and it was kind of awkward, but the car was still drivable, and we carried on. And you only get like about 5 to 10 minutes of incredible golden light. The sun comes up really fast there.
Mm.
So we was kind of, and we were shooting on film as
Mm.
well. So
Mm.
as it was the first light that we could possibly get, which had a really amazing sort of magenta
Mm.
quality to it, I was shooting handheld on my RZ
Mm.
at like 15th of a second.
Wow.
Um,
400 ASA fast film or
no,
normal?
no, it would have been 160 ASA,
Wow.
and not Portra. What was the other one? Kodak. Started with a V. Can't remember.
VMAX or no?
Or maybe it was Portra, but there were two types of Portra. It was
Yeah, the VC and NC.
a VC Portra. That's what it
Indeed.
was. Yes, exactly that. So it would have been 160 ASA,
Yeah.
underexposed by a stop, and then pushed two stops in the process,
Mm.
and 400 ASA black and white, some shebanga. Um, but we had such a very tiny window before it went from interesting light to perfect golden light
Mm.
to completely blinding
And
in the
he
middle of a desert
and
light.
he has quite a good knowledge of photography, doesn't
Well,
he?
I didn't realize this, and does he? That's a question mark. But as we're shooting, I get out the bag of clothes that have been presented to us because the magazine has advertisers and they have to have their clothes to do the advertising in the magazine. I said, so I got these clothes from the magazine, and he just went, no. And I went, what do you mean? And he went, I'm not wearing any of those clothes. They're all shit. And I went, oh, okay. What are you going to wear? And he went, I'm going to wear this outfit that I'm wearing now, which
Yeah.
was his outfit from the film.
Well, he looked beautiful, didn't
And
he?
it was just a pair of trousers and a shirt, no shoes. I mean, in fact, I think I managed to get one shot of him in something else, thinking about it, but most of it was
Mm.
this other stuff. And we just rushed through some pictures, and it's like a real blessing to work with an actor. I love photographing great actors because you can just give them a little bit of encouragement and they act. And they're not like, it's not like photographing a band who's trying to look cool
Mm.
or is just looking a bit dead. You
They're
know,
engaged in the venture, aren't
yeah,
they?
they're in it. It's like when I photographed Terence Terence Stamp, and he was
Mm.
going, "What do you want? What's my motivation?"
They're lovely pictures as well. But don't get
Don't
don't get
don't just
sidelined. Back to Vigo.
So anyway, Vigo, we do this shoot, and it's very fast, and we drive back to Erfood, and we carry on in a sandstorm, and he wears some other clothes, and we do some more pictures, and then at one point we're on this sand dune, and he's taking a picture. He's got a camera out, and he's taking a picture, but it doesn't have a lens, and I go, "Wow, what are you seeing?" And he went, "Shapes and colours." And I went, "Oh wow, that's cool." Weirdo. And so the shoot ends, and we fly back to
Yeah.
England, and you know the pictures are very very popular, and the magazine's very happy, and the pictures are
Yeah,
great.
they're great.
Um, I never really. This is 2002, and I don't hear anything else. You
Did
know,
you put the pictures in your portfolio?
pictures in my portfolio. Pictures came out in the magazine, and it was a beautiful magazine.
And it was all just a dream.
It was all just a dream. And then one day, my studio in Hackney Wick, maybe 3 years later, 2005, I get a knock at the door, and I go go and answer, and it's a courier with a parcel, and I'm not expecting a parcel. I take it, and as I open it, it's a beautifully framed wooden frame with glass picture of me in black and white with a guy, a Moroccan guy in the background, and I'm like trying to work out when it was taken, what I was doing there, but I'm like obviously in a hot country, and then I turn it over, and it says something along the lines of, "Thanks for dawn in the desert, Viggo Mortensen, 2002." And so at some point he must have put a lens on his camera and taken that without me knowing,
Yeah.
and had the weirdest thing is, like, I never gave him my address. Like, it turned up to my home
Mm.
address,
Mm.
where we used to live in the
Mm.
studio, and so, but I was very grateful for it. But
Mm.
I didn't have any way of
Of thanking him.
thanking him for the print. But like,
Well, now is your chance to thank him.
thanks, Vigo, for the print and the good times in the desert. That was very kind of you.
That was a good one. I think that's good.